Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelly, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in.
Shelly!
Angie!
Guess what? What? It is time for another episode of Hot Flash Chronicles podcast. Welcome to the pod. My name's Angie.
I'm Shelly.
And today we're going to talk about something that I know a ton about, but I've only recently learned, and that is ADHD.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in this.
That's going to be a lot to unpack.
There is a lot, and we're going to cover it because I'm almost 52 now, and I was just diagnosed with ADHD about 2.5 years ago. Oh. So I'm new to this. My whole life, I knew that there was a lot going on in my head, but I didn't know why until I got diagnosed. Mm-hmm. And it has massively affected my life, but having the diagnosis has helped.
Yeah, it always helps to be able to kind of put a name on something and then say, oh, okay, I know what that is. Now, what do I do? How can I work with this?
Right. So I just recently learned that I'm neurodivergent. I like to call it neuro-spicy or neuro-sparkly instead of neurotypical. I'm also on the spectrum, and I have menopause. So I'm a triple threat of what the fuck is going on in my head.
The trifecta.
Yes. So one of the things that you and I were discussing about ADHD that I don't think you knew the term before is something called body doubling. There are lots of things that come along with ADHD. We all know that it means you're easily distracted and you have a hard time staying on task and you're very squirrel or shiny. But there are things like RSD that we can talk about, body doubling, some different things, and also ways to cope with it. Mm-hmm. So how did you interpret how I explained body doubling? I'd love to hear what your take was, because you're not ADHD.
No, I wouldn't say that I have that. I'd say I have the modern life kind of pulls me in different directions, but I'm always able to refocus and get back pretty quick. So I would not say I have that diagnosis. But what I was hearing when you were talking about body doubling is that the presence of someone else, the actual physical presence or their presence like on a Zoom or just them being somewhere.
Yeah, it could be a virtual presence or virtual in person.
So in other words, knowing there's somebody else with you and you're not alone tends to help the person with ADHD be able to focus or remain more on task. But it's just that idea that somebody's there helps them complete whatever is on their checklist.
Right. So I know that my son was aware of this. And when he lived with me, I would be like, hey, can you come in my room? I need to fold some laundry because I need a body double. And he was like, yep, no problem. Got it. And what body doubling does, you don't have to help in the task. You don't have to converse with me. We don't have to talk about the task. I just need somebody there. I'm not sure why that is that way with some of us neuro-spicy people, but I get a lot more done if somebody's in the room. Mm-hmm. So the reason we wanted to do an episode on this is we've had a few of our listeners say, have you guys done an episode on ADHD yet? Because we had not. And I think actually they've turned it all into just ADD, just like they took away Asperger's and it's all just on the autism spectrum.
Yeah.
They took away the Asperger's.
Yeah.
The other one, the other big piece of ADHD that I have is called RSD. It's rejection sensitivity disorder, which means I'm usually totally convinced that everybody's mad at me.
Aw.
I always think that like, oh, she's mad at me or have I done something? So
what's the condition when everybody actually is mad at you, but you just don't give a shit? Because I have that one.
Menopause.
Okay. Okay. It's just being over 40 and being a woman.
Right.
Probably. Yeah. So that's interesting. So
I just am always certain that everybody in my life is upset with me.
Is that a common thing to accompany ADD or ADHD?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So we also have object permanence with people. So you know how kids, like, if you take the doll away, they kind of forget that the doll exists because it's not in their line of view. We have that with people. So like if...
We used to call that out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, well, we'll use Brandy because she's somebody that you know as well. Like if I haven't seen Brandy or heard from Brandy or gotten a text from her or seen something of hers on social media, my brain temporarily forgets that she exists.
Mm-hmm.
So then she'll pop up on my feed and it's like, oh, right, Brandy. And then I might reach out. But the way that this manifests is I'm really bad at reaching out to people. I'm like, hey, we should go to lunch, because if they're not right in my like line of vision, it's not in my mind that they need to be attended to, because not that you don't exist to me, but um,
they're just not in the forefront of your mind.
Right.
Your
So
mind is on other stuff.
I told a friend a few years ago, because she was like, I haven't seen you in a long time and we haven't gone out, da da da. And I said, I'm putting out fires and you just have to let me know that you're on fire. And I have been accused of being a bad friend because I don't reach out and like, hey, I miss you. How have you been? It's part of the ADD that I literally don't think of things or people unless they're right in my.
It makes me think that people with ADD, though, their minds are so active and there's always so much squirrel and sparkly and real tasks running through their mind that it's probably hard to find the space to use
you don't have the bandwidth to like think, I wonder what Brandy's up to.
Right. It's just
right. You just don't have all of the plates are spinning. Mm-hmm. You're not thinking, you know what, I should add another plate to this.
Yeah.
But if the plate enters, it's like, oh, look, a plate.
Yeah.
Right. But you don't think I should go seek out more plates. I have thought it might be a good idea for me to have like a note in my calendar every 3 days to say, reach out to 10 people. And then I could just randomly go, oh yeah, this person exists.
That's kind of
that might be a way to,
or even if it's 5, it doesn't. I mean, you could set whatever the number is that's a realistic number,
right?
But maybe that would be a strategy. I mean, I think when you get a diagnosis of anything, no matter what that thing is, it can be a health thing, it can be a neurodivergent thing. Whenever you get that, I think having a plan of action is part of what helps us manage whatever that thing is.
Right.
Like if you have cancer, they're going to come up with a treatment plan for how they're going to treat your specific kind of cancer. If you're trying to lose weight or something, you're going to come up with a plan for that. So it kind of makes sense that you would do that. And did you see somebody and get your diagnosis and then get some kind of counseling or some kind of treatment for that? How did that go?
Yeah. So I was listening to another podcast that one of my dear friends hosts. Her name's Nikki. I hope to have her on this podcast. And she was interviewing a guy who I'm now friends with named Jason Marino. And he was talking about how he has ADHD. And she was like, and he's describing it. And she goes, oh my God, that sounds like me. Oh my God, I do that too. Oh my God. And she just came to all of these realizations in her mind. Like, I think I need to be tested for ADD. So I'm listening to their podcast and I was like, holy shit, I think that's me too. So I went to I was seeing a therapist for anxiety because I have panic attacks from my car accident. And I said, hey, I would love to get tested. Well, I went to my regular doctor and she said, you have to see a
psychologist,
like a psychologist or a psychiatrist for this. This is not something that your general practitioner will diagnose.
Yeah.
So I talked to the person who was managing my anxiety and I asked her to test me. And she tested me and she was like, wow, that is the highest score I've ever gotten. And I was like, oh, and she goes, no, that's not really the test you want to ace. Mm-hmm. And it's basically through a series of questions. So she asked me a bunch of questions about,
how do you do this test?
What kind of student were you in school? Like, what did your report cards say? And have you ever struggled with this? How many times out of the week does this cross your mind? Or do you, just asking like scale of 1 to 10, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you are tipping the scales on ADD. And then we came up with some ideas of like breathing exercises or ways to focus or how to time block. Everybody has different methods that work. Mm-hmm. And then I was about a year later talking to a different doctor and he put me on Adderall. Mm-hmm. And it was incredible because he said, if you don't have ADHD, this will do nothing.
Right.
It'll do nothing. It's not going to like make you high or make you low. If you don't have it, you're going to be like, okay,
what
and what? And he said, if you do, about 45 minutes later, all of a sudden your mind will quiet and you'll be able to hold a single thought at a time. And I was like, oh,
that's weird. Why would I want to do
possible.
that?
So I go and pick up the prescription. I was driving to like a ladies' night event for my networking where it was hosted at this lady's house. And I took it on the way there. And then afterwards, I was like, maybe don't test out the brand new medication in front of people at a networking event. But here we are. And I get there and I'm talking to the ladies and and all of a sudden my brain just went still. And I was able to completely focus on the person I was talking to. And I was like, holy shit, this is it. This is what it feels like. And throughout the night, I was just paying attention to what it felt like. And multiple women who had seen me at networking meetings were like, you just seem so calm tonight. Like you seem
so
really
chill,
present. And I was like, you guys, I got to tell you. So I told the whole room and they were like, yeah, it's noticeably different. Wow. So what I've learned is I can't take it if I need to be creative. Because then I just sit there and I don't know how to pose. Like everything leaves my mind. In the networking group that I belong to, I run the meetings a lot of time. And one time I took Adderall before running the meeting. And I went to do the sales pitch at the end, which normally just falls out of my mouth.
Yep.
And nothing fell out. And I was like, fuck, I don't remember what I was saying. I was like standing in front of 80 people and I'm like,
words.
So it's a 12, wait, no, I'm not supposed to. And I've literally glitched. I didn't know what to do because my brain was so quiet. I couldn't grab the pieces.
It wasn't working the way that it normally does.
Somebody help me.
Yeah.
So I've been through lots of different tricks and stuff, and you just learn to live with it and give yourself some grace.
I was going to say, so do you just kind of balance that? Like if you have a really demanding creative thing coming on, you don't take the Adderall, but if you need to learn something or focus down or whatever, then you do.
If I have a task list of like, I need to send out emails, I need to get this gallery edited, I need to order some prints, I need to go get my car's oil changed, I need to schedule a doctor's appointment, then I will take it. But I only take it maybe once a week.
Yeah.
Because it makes me focus, but I feel like I'm not at my creative potential.
Right.
So I don't know that I'd be able to record a podcast.
Yeah.
Because the story.
Maybe we'll have to try one that way.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Yeah.
Be like, okay, guys, remember when on episode 33 when I talked about.
We're going to do an Angie on Adderall episode. Yeah, I think that's really interesting and something when I've, in the job that I have, sometimes people will have, we get to see their medical history. I work with people who get injured on the job and we have to try to get them back to work. And sometimes we might be trying to put them back into work in a different field. So their pre-existing conditions, or if they're neurotypical or if they have ADHD or something, can come into play, especially if they've had it their whole life. We can't say, we're going to make you an accountant if you have ADHD. That might not be a good fit. So I notice a lot of the time the people that I see that seem to have that condition, it seems to be that it's more women than men. I don't know if there's a real number out there.
Well, young boys used to get diagnosed all the time. But the thing is, young girls, when they have ADHD, they get real quiet.
They don't present the same way.
They don't present the same way. So we're underdiagnosed as children, especially back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. But now all of a sudden there's this big influx of a bunch of us realizing like, wait a second.
Yeah.
That's me.
Girl autism, female autism presents differently too. And I am a little bit on the spectrum for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting because girls still want to be social, whereas boys not necessarily so much. So it's harder to read that females are autistic, especially when they're younger, because they're still wanting to fit it. And if you watch, I always bring up the Big Bang Theory. If you watch Amy Farrah Fowler, her character, who's obviously, has autism, she very much wants to fit in with the other girls. She wants to date and still have that social life, whereas boys just tend to, I think she's a good example, even though that's a comedy or whatever.
Right.
But I think ADHD maybe, or ADD has that same element. Females tend to present differently just because we have different personalities, for one.
Right.
In general. But my brother, when he was younger, he was diagnosed with hyperactivity. Do you remember when that used to be?
That's what the H was.
Yep. it was hyper, and he was considered to be, and he was absolutely brilliant, and he still is to this day. But
he used to be really smart, but now.
No, he's still real smart. But we would wake up in the morning and he would have taken the toaster apart and it would be dismantled on the counter. And my mom and dad would get so mad, but he could put it back together. And they were like, why did you do that? And he's like, I wanted to see how it works.
Right.
I wanted to figure it out. So he's ended up getting into a field and being very successful because he got into kind of mechanics, and then he's worked his way all the way up. He's on a managerial side in this big company now, but he was always like that. He was always inventing things. He figured out this elaborate hammock system that he put up. When you opened the door to the bedroom, he had hammocks from the top of his bunk bed going over to the closet, going to the door. It's like, and he would be sleeping in the hammock so you couldn't do anything or he would fall to the floor. And as his older sister, did I ever accidentally? No. How did he fall? What? My annoying little brother fell? That's terrible. But
Moira's present on the podcast.
A little bit. So it was interesting because he had the hyper, and he was always into everything. He was very physically active, always moving around very fast. And they did some medication on him, and this would be medications back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Like Ritalin?
Yeah. And my mom did not like the way that it affected him, so she didn't do it. She chose not to, which I'm glad. And we just lived through it.
Yeah.
But he also didn't like to get up in the morning. He didn't like to be on a schedule of any kind. And he hated going to school. And he was a C to B student, but he wasn't. And what I mean that is he wouldn't go. He wouldn't attend. They would almost want to kick him out, but he would show up on the day of tests and get straight A's. He hated school. It was boring. It just wasn't interesting enough for him. And he even took the test to be an engineer for the state of Washington without any schooling beyond high school and aced it. But they couldn't hire him because he didn't have a bachelor's degree. He's brilliant, but school
but I know how to do it.
He did. He just knew how to do all of it. And everything was boring to him. And it's like, he's like, I'm not dumb. I'm just not interested in what they're not teaching at a high enough level for what keeps me interested.
Right. And I can say that just about every report card I ever had through my whole school life said something to the effect of, Angie struggles to stay on task. Angie interrupts all the time. Angie is being social when she's supposed to be doing her work.
What?
Shocker. So interrupting and over talking is a huge marker for ADHD because I'm not really sure why, but we just blurt it, and it's not something that we can super duper control. Even if I'm sitting there, like there have been conversations that I've had with people where I'm literally in my head saying, don't interrupt her, don't interrupt her, don't interrupt her. But then I'm not paying attention to what she's saying. And it's because our brain is like thinking about the thing that we can say.
Yeah, you're gathering your response.
And it just falls out. And it sucks because we know it's rude. We know it's super rude to overtalk someone or interrupt or, cut them off.
But you're afraid you won't remember it.
I don't know why we do it, but
I think there's a lot of people.
We know it's rude. We're not doing it on purpose. So as soon as I got the diagnosis and I was able to have a conversation with my whole extended family, because I know like throughout my life, like my mom has been like, Angie, stop interrupting. Or, like I've had people in my family that are like, stop interrupting everybody. It's like, I'm not trying to, and I literally can't stop. So it's such an interesting, there's so many interesting
But I mean, again, when you have the awareness and you can tell people, then that gives them the ability to be more understanding and hold the space that you need to be able to have these, conversations or relationships,
And a lot of the time, ADHD and autism go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that you can have, it's more common to have autism if you have ADHD, I believe, is my understanding. Mm-hmm. I also have a friend named Jen, who I'll see if I can find a way to tag her somehow. She is an ADHD mind coach. So she literally will help. She's like a therapist, not a therapist. Sorry. She's a coach. Sue calls her a brain coach.
Yeah.
And she helps you sort stuff out and figure out how to accomplish tasks. And her website is teamgetshitdone.
Love that.
So she specializes in the neuro-spicy.
Mm-hmm.
So she is somebody who literally can look at how you present in your neurodiversity and how to help you accomplish tasks or figure out how to create a system for something or whatnot. Like when I hang out with her, she knows that, like, okay, and here's how I'm going to ask you to focus. Like she's good at catching, like, Angie, come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
So her name's Jen Swedeen. She's amazing. I'm not sure what state she lives in, honestly.
Because she probably does this virtually.
Yeah, she does it all virtually, and she also has a team that will do like virtual assistant stuff for you, and like if you need tasks done in your work. But I thought, what an interesting realm to go into in a career to be a brain coach, and like, let me help you sort through all of the shit that's going on in your head and sort it out.
Let's go Marie Kondo your brain and figure out how we can organize this. Something you mentioned, I know earlier you had said something about, staying on task, not being able to complete tasks. And I remember recently I had read up on procrastination, which I think is something a lot of us do some version of. And I noticed when I'd read this article, it had said procrastination tends to get tied into ADD, people with ADD, and also people with strong anxiety. And I have a diagnosis of having anxiety. So I procrastinate, and I was like, the thing that frustrates you the most when you're having anxiety is not getting stuff done.
Yep.
Like that's the thing that just even feeds your anxiety. And it was so interesting to me that the thing that feeds your anxiety is also the thing that is making you procrastinate. It's a vicious cycle. Like the anxiety paralyzes you. And what I feel when I start procrastinating is that I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I tell my husband, I'm not physically exhausted, but my brain is exhausted.
Right, because you're trying to sort things into compartments.
And all the doors are closed and you can't get everything into the rooms that you needed up in your brain. And then you're running around to the point where you can't put the things where they need to go, where you're mentally exhausted. Then, because I'm mentally exhausted, I don't have the ability to complete what could be seen as a very simple task.
Right.
And I know ADHD and ADD, that's a procrastination comes out as one of the
massively.
Yeah.
Because we only have, you've heard the spoons analogy, right? Like everybody gets so many spoons a day, and like every task or every action requires a spoon, and like you have a handful of spoons, and then if you spend a spoon, now you have one fewer spoon. People with ADD have fewer spoons
to even start with.
So like, let's say a neurotypical, I don't know what the analogy normally is, but let's say you start with 12 spoons a day. I would start with 3. So you have 12 things that you can accomplish in a day, and I can do 3. So what I will tend to do is recognize that I have 12 tasks to do, but I only have 3 spoons. So I'll sit in decision paralysis and sit in my head and spin up about how I have so many things to do. I don't know what to do. Which one's the most important? I don't know what to do. So I'm actually not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So I will refuse starting any of the tasks because I can't figure out which one to spend my spoon on. And I will get stuck in decision paralysis to the point that now I'm adding more to my to-do because now they're accumulating because I've done any of them.
And you still only have 3 spoons.
Such a mind fuck. And then you get hyper fixated on something like a hobby.
Yeah.
Like I got hyper fixated at the holidays on diamond painting. Why? No fucking idea. No idea. Somehow somebody came across my Instagram. I was like, what's that? Of course, I had to buy every tool on it. And then I spent feverishly hours and days and weeks on diamond painting. Why? Have I picked it up since Christmas? Absolutely not. It's something that I do. And what I've learned is if I have a large project, like let's say I need to organize the pantry. If I take everything out of the pantry, I will stop there and realize, oh God, what have I done? Now I have to finish it.
Oh my God, what have I done?
And then I'll just sit and look at it and like, oh, I can't. I bit off more than I could. This is way too many spoons. And then I'll just sit and feel self-loathing for not completing the pantry. So what I need to do instead is do one shelf at a time. I'm going to empty this shelf. I'm going to sort it and put it back and see how much energy and bandwidth I have for it.
Great.
Am I still feeling okay?
Break it down. You eat
so
the elephant.
If I give up partway through, it's only one portion of the pantry. I haven't emptied the whole thing.
Yeah, you haven't created a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I know that my husband and I this last month have been going through a move, and we have had a garage full of everything you can imagine that you would have from the last 30 or 40 years of your life. I have stuff of my mom and dad's that was their stuff.
And your mom passed 30 years ago, and you still have things that you're holding on for emotional reasons, which makes sense.
Well, there's a reason why I've avoided, because it's the decision paralysis. It's the emotion that's attached to these things. And so my husband wants to throw boxes in front of me and just say, sort this box, sort that box. But I told him, I designated which ones were what I called sentimental things, like the keepsakes, the photographs, this and that. I said, if you put those boxes in front of me, that's where I'll be for the next 8 hours, because I'll start looking at all the pictures. I'll start going down memory lane. I'll start picking up the things that I remember from my childhood, and I will not get anything done. I said, these boxes need to go in the corner over there, and they are the last thing that I can do. If you want me to be productive, you can't, I won't get anything done on those, because there's a reason why I haven't went into those boxes for 30 years. So you cannot open with that. That's not going to get me anywhere.
Right.
So, and I said, I'm going to keep all those. I'm going to keep all of those. I'm not going to make a decision today about something I haven't been able to make a decision about for 30 years. So those are going to go in a storage unit. And then after we're moved and it's all done, I will go through one box at a time on Saturdays and figure out what it is.
It has to be on your terms, though.
Yeah. And it's not something I want to make a snap decision about. There's a reason I put it off. But I do know at the quick glances that I looked at, because these are things from my parents, my mom was kind of a pack rat. She was a little tiny bit of a hoarder. Her house was extremely clean. Think Monica on Friends. And her garage had these boxes in it. And then think Monica's closet on Friends. Her secret.
Oh, right. Yeah. The whole closet. Yeah.
That was the shit that was in my mom's garage. And I have discovered that my mom, these things I've been treasuring, thinking these are sentimental things that meant so much to my mom. I've opened it up and there's literally garbage in there. Yeah. It was shit she just threw in a box to get out of the house to keep her house clean. It was not sentimental to her. So
interesting realization.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh shit, I've been toting around these boxes of literal garbage for 30 years because I thought they were something special to my mom. No, she was a hoarder.
Well, and as
in her garage.
As I'm saying it out loud about getting the task analysis, where it's like, well, now I've emptied the pantry and I don't know what to do because I'm stuck and I don't have any spoons. I wonder if that's why I need the body doubling.
Yeah.
Because so Shelly and I have a co-working space here at my studio now. So she's doing her like normal day job here at the studio, and I'm getting more done because she's here. But if she wasn't here, I might just sit here and try to figure out what I'm going to do and then get stuck in a loop and not actually accomplish anything. I wonder if the reason the body doubling helps is because maybe I would know that you would notice that I'm just standing there for 3 hours.
I was going to say, I wonder if it's some kind of unconscious accountability. Like there's
like she's going to judge me that I'm just sitting here doing nothing.
Because you have that other condition, the one where you think nobody likes you.
Right, the RSD.
The RSD. Maybe that is the emotional key for you and it's not that I actually am making a judgment, because I'm not at all. I'm not even paying attention. Right. I'm doing my job. But maybe it is this unconscious cue of that person is busy and doing their list, or they're here. I need to do my stuff.
Right.
I need to try a little bit harder to stay on
task. Like if we came to the office to work, I should probably work. Instead of like before you were coming here, I would come here and just literally like stare at my computer. And then next thing I'm on Pinterest, and now I'm pinning recipes, and I should open a Walmart grocery order. And then, oh shit, it's 7 p.m. and I haven't figured out what's for dinner. And wait, didn't I come here to edit a gallery?
Well, let's be honest here. The modern world and our phones, which are computers, which is a whole nother podcast we did, they are very distracting. And if you already have a condition that lends to you being distracted easily, that shit ain't helping.
Yeah.
Pinterest, an instant Chat GPT, instant information. All of a sudden, I can go down
Now
one
I'm
of those.
researching.
I think we're creating some
what country has the most meerkats, and it's like, wasn't I supposed to be editing a client's photo?
Oh yeah, I can go down the meerkat.
What's happening?
You can go down a meerkat.
Why am I doing this?
Oh, real fast. I mean, if I let myself, like I used to be like, oh, on my lunch break, I'll look at Facebook or something, and then same thing. Hour later, I am looking at meerkats, and then I'm watching videos of meerkats in sweaters, and then they're on skateboards, and that's not lunchtime, people.
Yeah.
No, but I think there is something that we've created a state of a certain amount of ADD in everyone. But if you really actually have it, it compounds it. That's going to be real severe.
Which is why I stay up till 2 a.m, like scrolling reels, because it feeds my need for constant stimulation.
And entertainment. I mean, I have that a little bit of not wanting to feel bored. So whenever I feel like for even 2 seconds that maybe I'm bored, I grab my phone.
Right. Well, we freak out if we don't have our phone.
Yeah, they've created, there is, I think that there's a societal technology form of ADD that
for sure
that they have. And you know what? It lets us avoid a lot of things in the world that are unpleasant.
Yeah.
It's an escape. So that can, I mean, I for sure feel like that is an actual thing we're all living with.
Yeah. So I think the point is there are lots of different ways that neuro-spicy can manifest within one human's mind, and it's all okay. And for me, having the diagnosis gave me a sense of calm, that it didn't just mean that I'm not good at completing things. It means that I have a chemical imbalance in my brain that I don't have control over.
Yeah.
And it gave me some understanding of myself, and it allows me to give myself grace because I can recognize, oh, I'm in a holding pattern, and that's okay. Yeah. I just need a day to sit and not accomplish anything, not punish myself for it, because it's not something I have a ton of control over.
Well, you're able to stop the vicious cycle of kicking yourself down and then really not being able to function. Even if you can just go, I need a day.
Yeah.
A day of not functioning is normal and healthy for everyone. We all need self-care. We all need downtime. And if we know we have an actual condition, then it's totally viable. It's totally acceptable to take that day. And before, if you don't know what's wrong with you, or you don't know what's happening or why you do the things you do, you just feel guilty about that. Like, I should be getting all this stuff accomplished.
You can sit in guilt.
Everybody else does that. Yeah. So I think knowledge is power. And then, like you said, you get that space to forgive yourself. And then that also allows you space to treat yourself in the sense of, healing yourself and learning to live with, it's not terrible to be a neuro-spicy or neuro-sparkly. It makes people interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that everybody's different. I'm glad not everybody's, we are all on the spectrum. That's what a spectrum is. There's this end, there's this end. And then if
you're listening, she's holding her hands.
I have my hands in front of me, like a ruler. So if you're on more towards the left side, maybe you're just barely, maybe you have a few little things. Maybe you're more in the middle. Maybe you're way over here, but we're all on it. And if you can figure out where your place is on that, then
create systems and processes that work cohesively within your mind, wherever it is on the neurodivergent or neurotypical.
I mean, when you get the information, then you do have a responsibility to yourself of how you want to deal with this. Like, do you want to try to find ways to be more productive? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but at least you have the power to do that with the knowledge.
So we hope this was maybe insightful for people who didn't have it, or if you're listening like I did to Nikki's podcast and like, oh my God, I think I might have ADHD. Then you're welcome and we're sorry.
Yeah.
But we had a few people say you guys should do an episode on ADD. So I'm glad that we got to talk.
We are on a lot of different social media platforms promoting the podcast. The one we're most active on right now is TikTok, and we do live broadcast, live, whatever you want to call it, streaming out there. And if you do want to see ADD in action, should tune in, because this is, we tell people this is focused, and some of you might watch this and think it's not really that focused, but it is for us. Comparatively. But if you want to see full-blown ADD Angie, which to me is nothing but delightful.
Aw.
Tune in to just, if you're on TikTok or whatever, go check it out, because it's funny, because even though she's saying all these things about it, she goes off kind of on her own thing, but it's definitely a thing. And she rabbit trails around
me.
and it comes
Come back.
It comes back and it lands.
Close the loop.
And because I know her so well and I've known her so long, I don't think it's that weird. Like, this is part of our dynamic, and it's actually quite entertaining. And some people are liking that it's like that.
Yeah,
some people like
a song about every 3 minutes.
They like what we would call controlled chaos. So, but it's like there's somebody happily living in their ADD. And it's
we want to give a couple shout outs to some of our subscribers on our channels. So I listed them last time. Do you want me to go again? Or
you
name a few.
Remember
so we have Caney, who is an incredible artist. We have Cartoon Man. He's been almost all of our lives.
Yes.
We have Jennifer, who is now a mod for us. We have Steph. We have Alexia,
who's somebody we used to sing with.
We have K Designs, which, by the way, I just got my shirt today and it's lovely. And we have, wait for it, Biscuits. I'm forgetting one.
I know, because we just got 2 last night, so I think it's one of the new people.
No, Caney and
I'm going to actually look. I'm going to look on the phone, because we do not want to leave anybody out.
We don't want to leave anybody else.
So
did I say Jennifer?
You did say Jennifer.
I said Jennifer. Jennifer, Caney, Steph, Cartoon Man, Alexia.
Musical Phantom Goddess.
What?
That's actually Alexia.
Oh.
Ange.
Oh my gosh, my own name.
We can't forget Ange. Ange has been supporting since day one.
So we want to thank our subscribers on TikTok. We want to thank you guys for listening. If you have any ideas of topics that we can talk about on the pod, we want to hear that as well.
Yes.
Because we always love to hear what you guys want us to talk about. And that's how this topic came up. And as always, we're going to end with a couple rapid fire questions, because this is how we wrap our episodes. Shelly, why don't you go first?
Okay. So if you had the choice of getting a very fancy designer outfit from a boutique.
Okay.
If it was that one item that you could wear to one event only. So we're saying fancy dress, or you could buy 10 outfits on Temu that would only equal $50. Okay.
Okay. I didn't hear the last part.
Yeah.
I'm comfort over fashion.
Yeah.
So to me, the Temu one sounded more cozy than
like a Dior or something.
Dior. Like, I'm not a fashionista at all. 0% fashionista.
Yeah.
So that sounds more like your bailiwick. Bailiwick?
I probably would never feel comfortable enough to spend thousands of dollars on something. But if it was free and I had those 2 options, I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
It'd be different.
Okay.
All right.
In what city did you see the most beautiful sunset that you've ever seen?
Oh, I'm going to go with Hawaii. They have incredible, beautiful, and I've been on Kona and I've been on 3 of the islands, Big Island. I don't know how to explain it. A tropical sunset, and you see the green flash, when the sun goes down below the line of the water.
We saw that last time.
So gorgeous. So I'm going to go with that. I don't know that anything beats a tropical sunset.
I love that.
It's hard. It's hard to beat that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question 2 for me.
Let's see. We've got to go with food of some sort.
Obviously, we got to go food.
Would you rather have a savory sandwich like tuna fish or a sweet sandwich like PB&J?
Oh man, that's like Sophie's Choice. Those are like 2 of my favorite sandwiches. If I wanted to eat one right now, I would probably go PB&J. The tuna melt is like.
Oh, I know. That's legit.
Tuna melt,
pickles
on
and onions
muffin.
And the relish and the
I'm gonna go PB&J though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then for you, are you more of an appetizer person or a dessert person?
Appetizer. 100%. I mean, not that I don't like a dessert, but there's something about like a jalapeno with cream cheese in it with a piece of bacon wrapped around it. Bacon wrapped water chestnuts.
Oh.
I make those.
Can we make some of those soon?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like one of
Would you
my
like the brown
specialty
sugar
things.
bacon wrapped water chestnuts?
Yeah, and any kind of like a charcuterie platter thing. I love the nibbles.
Yeah, tapas.
For sure.
For sure.
Tapas, yep.
Okay, guys, this has been another episode of Hot Flash Chronicles. Thank you so much for joining us. And we drop every Monday and Friday. Give us a like, a follow, a subscribe. And if you could find it in your heart, we would love a 5-star review.
I really would.
And until next time, Angie and Shelly signing out.
Bye.
Au revoir. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. That's a wrap on this episode. If you laughed, related, or just need more, hit subscribe.
Check out the show notes to find us on socials and YouTube and join our Patreon for exclusive extras.
And remember,
we're still hot, just in flashes.